Avoiding discipline results in the absence of maturity, the elimination of potential, and the wasting of a life. Let's talk about that. Every newborn child is consumed with nothing but themselves. In fact, self-absorption is the defining element of childish behavior. Its very nature is selfish, self-centered, and completely unconcerned with anything that is outside their sphere of reference. In other words, they're children. Growing out of this pit of self-interest requires focusing their attention on something other than themselves. It also requires that they learn that denying personal desire is often required to obtain personal value. The needed something is discipline. Starting in the late 20th century, practicing discipline began to be considered a cruel and inhibiting method of child rearing. It was widely acclaimed that children required the opportunity for self-expression, the ability to find their own way, and be left to discover their own path. The result of this right of self-discovery and self-determination can be viewed on cable news channels and seen in public governmental forums. However, my intent is not to comment on current cultural norms, but to use them instead as warning signs in evaluating my own life and my level of maturity. You see, deciding to assess my personal growth and effectiveness is necessary if I want to count for more than just selfish pursuit. I have discovered that understanding the benefit of living a disciplined life as opposed to an undisciplined life of self-gratification is critical for experiencing true fulfillment and purpose. As in everything else, the example of Jesus is necessary to fully comprehend what this requires. In Hebrews 5, we see the explanation of how this worked out in his life. It says, "But even though he was a wonderful son, he learned to listen and obey through all his sufferings. And after being proved perfect in this way, he was now become the source of eternal salvation to all those who listen to him and obey him." Even though he obviously felt the pain and pressure of obedience, he recognized as the Son of God that the fruit of his pain would be the deliverance of a new race of men. Paul further explained this in Hebrews, the 12th chapter, when he said, "Because his heart was focused on the joy of knowing that you would be his, he endured the agony of the cross and conquered its humiliation, and now sits exalted at the right hand of the throne of God." Folks, childish behavior never produces anything other than hurt, anger, and disappointment. I cannot serve God's purposes if I'm fixated on personal gratification and selfish desires. You see, I was created to image and serve the living God. I was not created to sacrifice my potential on the altar of an undisciplined life. So, what's the conclusion? I believe that the lesson learned here is that unless I'm willing to endure the impact of discipline, I will never grow to the maturity required to realize my potential and purpose. I'm Lane Johnson, and this is Battle Leadership.
Hey, Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts to stay up to date with what we're doing at Battle Leadership. Thanks.